Hi, I'm here at Chevy Source of Sports today with Dale Mason and Connor Brown-Malowski to explain how to fit shoulder pads. One of the biggest things with hockey is there's lots of protective equipment out there, but we need to make sure it fits properly so it actually does the job it's supposed to do. So what we're going to do is Dale's going to go through how to fit shoulder pads properly, and then I'll explain why that's important.
Okay, Connor, these look like they fit you pretty good. First thing we're going to look at is how the chest wraps around your chest. The chest protector shoulder pad is made so that it's cut into segmented areas so that you have got a lot of flexibility so you're not impeded when you're skating. While we're on the front here, the other nice piece that I like is this breastplate to protect the hard area. There's dense foams, plastics to protect you if you're ever into blocking shots. I know a lot of kids like you like to be brave and slide in front of pucks, so this will give you a lot of protection on the front. Shoulder cap is one of the most important pieces. Shoulder cap has to fit over top of the shoulder, this bump on the shoulder. A couple of reasons. You go to hit a player, you need that to stay put. When you hit them, you'll hit the wall, you'll get compressions. That needs to stay in place. On the back, again, shoulder pad is cut in segmented areas to allow for flexibility. A lot of dense foams and plastics in here for protection from cross checks, pucks, and other impacts.
So now that we've got Connor fit really well with the pads, I want to explain the properties of protective equipment and why we use pads and how pads work to protect you from an injury. The first property is absorption. So the foam on any pad will absorb. If there's an object that hits, it'll absorb the force and protect the area that's underneath it. The second property is called deflection. And these hard surfaces in here and here, what that's designed for is if a puck or a stick comes in and hits here, what happens is it deflects off and therefore it minimizes the force that actually hits Connor's body. The third property, which is probably the most important as far as shoulder pads go, is called dispersion. And that's what protects you from a shoulder separation. And probably one of the key injury risks in hockey as far as ill-fitting equipment is shoulder separations. When you separate a shoulder, it's called your acromioclavicular joint, which is underneath here, from the collarbone, where the collarbone connects to the shoulder blade. And what happens is if pads don't fit properly and disperse the force as you land on your shoulder, you'll end up separating that joint. And so the idea with dispersion is this shoulder cup, as someone hits here, you'll see the pad move on Connor as it tends to spread that force all the way across. And that's what these straps do. So as it gets hissed down, it spreads the force throughout the pad. And that way then it protects that acromioclavicular joint. If this pad is too small, and so this cup is actually up here, now it doesn't, that force goes directly on the acromioclavicular joint and you actually separate your shoulder. So it's really important to make sure that the shoulder pads fit. One of the key things is get to experts like Dale who can tell you how to fit it properly, because when you're spending money on pads, you want to protect your child and make sure that the pad is doing what it's supposed to do.